Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a physical button to dim your WLED lights using a potentiometer. Let's get started. Step 1. Getting the right equipment. The WLED Knowledge website recommends using a 10 kilo ohm potentiometer, but I prefer a 20 kilo ohm potentiometer. The RV097NS, a 20 kilo ohm carbon film potentiometer, is my go-to dimmer because it's cheap and small enough for all my projects. I've tried bigger, more expensive potentiometers, like this wire-wound one promising higher accuracy and reliability, but they don't work, trust me. Step 2. Wiring it up. I'm going to go into a bit of detail here that might help with problem solving later on. But if you want to jump ahead, this is the pin configuration that will work with most ESP32 full-size boards. The critical thing here is use data pin 34 and 3.3 volts. But if you want to be sure, watch the rest of this section. Okay, wire the data pin to the middle pin of the potentiometer and the live to either right or left pin, and the ground to the other pin. It doesn't matter what side you use for live or ground, because you can change it later in the settings of the WLED UI. But if you're interested, you can test by using a multimeter set to ohms. Here I connected the left pin and the data pin to the multimeter, and by turning the potentiometer slowly, you can see the ohm reads change. This is also a good way to check if the potentiometer is working before you set it up. Next, we need to connect the potentiometer to the ESP32 board. The live goes to 3.3 volts on your board, not 5 volts, because that could send 5 volts into your data pin and damage the board. The ground is simple, ground to ground. And the most important step, the data pin to pin 34. You can use other pins, but that pin needs to be an ADC1 pin. You can find out what pins are ADC1 and ADC2 by checking your pin out diagram. You can also find the correct pin by logging onto your board either on the PC or the WLED app, selecting LED preferences, scrolling down to buttons and clicking on the drop-down menu. Then look for the one that says a number followed by R-O. These usually start at 34. Connect to one of these RO pins and you're done. Step 3. Software setup. Okay, let's set up the software. So on the WLED UI, you go to config, you go to LED preferences, you scroll down to the buttons, we select the button with an RO, which in my case is going to be 34. Then we go to here, drop down menu, and we select analog or analog inverted. If you choose analog or analog inverter, they'll both work. It will just affect the direction of the knob. So let's go with analog. And we save. Next, we go to time and macros. We scroll all the way down. Button 0 again. For short on off, we leave 0. For long on off, we leave 0. And for double, we go 250. This is the code required for global brightness. On the Knowledge website, you can see under macros, global brightness, effects speed, effects intensity, all sorts of function. But for today's purposes, we're going to go with global brightness. And we save. Problem solving. If you look at the top right brightness of here, you'll see it's flickering back and forth, left and right, left and right. Your light will be flickering the same, getting slightly brighter, slightly darker. The problem that's happened here is that you have probably lost a pin. It could be your positive, your negative, something. And because of that, your WLED can't pick up the potentiometer and it just fluctuates like that. Problem number 2, you might find that when you're turning the knob, the brightness drops off quite sharp. Go over here to config, LED preferences. and select gamma correction for brightness. It says not recommended, but if you're going to be using this dimmer and you want to have a nice smooth transition from brightness to dim, this is the button to press. You can play around with this gamma value if you want to. Sometimes 2.5 works better, but that will make your dimmer much more smoother. And that is how you set up a potentiometer in WLED. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comments below. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you want more videos like this, and thank you for watching.